Greetings, I'm Barrett and welcome to Meet Me at the Table. Today we are going to do a super quick unboxing of Dominion War Campaign Part 3 for Star Trek Alliance. If you're interested in knowing about this game, I did an unboxing of the first two expansions and I did a playthrough of the very first mission from the first campaign. This is a game I really want to get more on the channel, but I haven't had a chance to get to it, and now the third part is even here and I'm super excited to play this and I haven't got a chance to. This one is bringing in some new things such as the Romulan faction. You can now play as Romulans, and I believe this is a Breen ship, and there is still this Jem'Hadar attack cruiser, I think is what that is, or it might be a battleship, we'll see. I'm excited to dig into this and see what it's all about. Now, those that are interested in picking this up, you do have to be aware that this is not a standalone box. You do either need the original Star Trek Alliance core game, which is the part 1 of the Dominion War, or the Star Trek Alliance game itself, which is normally a competitive ship flying around and shooting each other game. It's a really cool system. It's very similar to the X-Wing system if you ever played that. So I do want you to be aware you do need one of those two things because those comes with all the different range rulers and dice and things of that nature. Let's dig into Star Trek Alliance Dominion War Campaign Part 3. And if you're excited to see what this is, then I need you to meet me at the table. Let's take a look and see what's in the box. I do know that every one of these ships can be played not only in this co-op campaign system, but also they have the stats and cards and everything for them to be used in the actual attack wing game if you're interested. We have our punch outs right here and all of our dice that we need for this particular campaign box. And we also have our ship holders and our dials for the maneuvers. And we also have all of our cards that we're needing to go through. So there's a lot more than I thought would be in here to actually dig into. This will be super exciting. First, we have our punch boards. These are just going to be potential obstacles that are going to be out on the board. We do have some of our player tokens that we're going to be using. I believe this is a cloak token. So it's good we have those because, of course, most likely, I don't see why they wouldn't, but the Romulans can cloak. They are double-sided, and these are going to be part of the maneuver dials for our particular ships. These are the ones for the Romulans. Moving on to the second one, we have the dials for the Jem'Hadar and Breen class ships. We have the battle cruisers and the warships, and of course, as you can see, they're cut out here so that on the back you can see there the dial is. They're not too bad when it comes to maneuvering. There are a couple hard turns for them. This is going to be, I believe, the Jem'Hadar battle cruiser right here. So it has a lot less maneuvers it can do, but it can go really fast. But again, some of the harder banks are going to be tougher for it to do. These are the ones for the Romulan ships, and I do want to mention, if you're interested in playing with multiple players, this one comes with the ability to play with 2. The more of the boxes you buy, the more players you can play with. So you can play up to 6, which would be really super cool. We do have the mission tokens right there. Then we have the templates that we're going to use on these particular square things here, and I'll show you those in just a second how those work. These are just going to be tokens that you can stick into these to represent who's who out on the map. And these are going to, if you notice, they're got all these different lines here. Those are where you're going to be able to decide which direction this thing is going to be maneuvering towards when you roll the AI setup in this game. Now, if we flip these over, they are now going to be the ones that you would use in the actual attack wing game. So like I said, you can use these for not only this co-op system, but you can also use it in the actual game of attack wing if you wanted to play that as well. So those are them. Then we have just some numbered tokens again to show which ones are out there. These are shield tokens that we have, and then we have some extra tokens for, I'm guessing, some of the missions and things out there. Maybe these are allied ships flying in and helping you. I'm not exactly sure. We'll have to see how that all transpires during the game. This is going to be how you're going to put your maneuver dials together. Those are them. Then we have our 2 dice. These are used to determine different AI functions. These are not used to actually attack or do any damage to the actual ships. Those are different dice that are not found in this set. Then again, like I said, these are going to come with these square parts that you put the actual template into, and then it's also going to have where you're going to be able to put the ship on. So for example, we're going to have this one here. We'll dump these all out because why not? Then you put one of these in here as well, and then once they're in there, then you can put on your ship onto the little pole that you have here, and you're all set to fly him around. I think these look super cool on the board. This is one of my favorite parts, is that the actual board presence of the game looks amazing. Now you can carry over your characters from the previous co-op game into this one, or you can start fresh with some of the new captains and things that you're going to get. So let's quickly take a look at some of the cards that come in here. The first thing we have is the AI cards, and they're two different sides, and they have their captain skill here. These are the main basic ship as it's flying around, but you might have to fight an elite ship, which is going to have a different pilot skill and a special power that you're going to have to deal with. And they have multiples, because you could have multiple boxes, or you could be bringing in stuff from other things. And so we also have some more for the Breen. There's a lot of them there. We have more Gem Hunter battle cruisers as opposed to the battleship, which is found here. Now, of course, there is only one in the game, so in this box, so you would use just the one. But if you had other ones that you had, and wanted to add in more players and things, you want to make sure you had the cards for them. There's they also have ones for other ships that are not actually found in here, because these might be leveling up and become more difficult as you play through the game, because you're now in the third campaign. And the backside is, of course, the more, I guess you would call the standard one. But I believe these didn't change. I think they're still the same. I'd have to look at them. It's been a little while since I've looked at these. But these are the AI cards to be able to figure out who is going and when. Then we have our cards that are going to be for our captains. These are, you're going to put your captain name here, and then you're going to get a certain amount of points. And as you level your ship up, you're going to be able to spend these points on different abilities that I will showing you soon. Here's the actual ship. It shows you what it has. This is the type of things, upgrades you can give it. Are down here. These are the type of actions it can do. This is the point value of it, I guess you could say. And if you're playing in the actual Attack Wing game, this is how much it would cost to add it to a squad. It gives you a loadout of what the dial looks like, so you have a reference, and it has both of the different Romulan ships here, and there must be the two different ones that they have available to us. Oh, these are the two different Romulan ships. They're still the same ship. And they have, yes, they're exactly the same ship, just different art. That's kind of cool. All right, those are the same. I believe that even the dial's the same, isn't it? Yeah, okay, 100%. Then we have Dominion Starship. We have the Dominion Battleship here, which is, this Starship is the battleship. Again, if you want to use this in the actual Attack Wing game, you have the card for it. And then same with the Breen, the Starships, or Star Cruisers as well. And of course, there's two of them. So since this does come with two, you do have the cards for them if you need them. Underneath the insert of the box is where you're going to find your campaign book and the AI parts of the game. These are the cards that are going to tell you exactly how these ships are going to fly. This is one of the coolest parts of how this co-op system works. It goes step by step in how you're supposed to use each of these particular ships, and based on the die roll, that is what they're going to do. And they have the battleship, the cruiser, and they even have the ones from the older ships as well. We have two Jem'Hadar. We have a Jem'Hadar attack ship and a battle cruiser, and we even have the Dominion, or not Dominion, sorry, the Cardassian ship as well. Then we have the actual campaign book, and this is, if I remember it, a 7-mission campaign book. That is, I think it's a linear ship campaign book that you're going to go through, and it does come with a rules of play, which might have some new stuff based on what comes in this particular expansion. The cool thing about how this works is, in case you haven't seen the playthrough video, is it does tell you as you're going through the mission how to set things up and when certain ships are going to be entering into the battle as you're trying to complete the objectives that are laid out before you. It does have a rules reference that shows you everything and all the different combat tokens and things of that nature and actions that you can perform. Then, of course, in the campaign, it does show you how to get everything ready, and then it would start with the first one, which is going to be, where's the first campaign? Player setup using. So here's our first one. So this is how you're going to set the board up, and you're going to have these particular enemies come in based on player count. It has special rules for what happens, and it tells you what happens when you succeed or fail. And I believe this is a fail forward type concept, of course, unless you get to the end. And it does look like it has different objectives, and what you experience you're going to get based on how you are able to meet the objectives. So it'll be really interesting to see how this all plays out. I would love to get to it in the future. Here are all the different upgrade cards. We have, these are going to be based on what you have in your level of your captain, whether or not you can particularly buy certain ones of them. These are the point costs for these and what exactly it is going to fill on the ship. So for example, this one right here could fill up 2 of the captain slots and then a couple of these other slots as well. And so you could potentially buy these to be on your ship. This is Klingon. I don't know if you're able to cross the different places. So they do have some more Klingon cards, but here we have a helmsman for the new Romulans if you wanted to use them. We have the different factions down there and how much each one of these costs. Oh my gosh, there's that guy, Sub-Commander. That's pretty awesome. It's neat to see all these cards because I remember a lot of this from the show. These are really cool. And honestly, I've really been kind of cool. I think the Romulans are kind of cool. It'd be neat to actually fly around this. Ambush Tactics is a type of card. Now, this is going to be a different type of thing you could put on your cards based on whether or not you had that symbol. Now, none of the ships actually have that symbol on it. That's going to be based on these up here. So as you go up in skill, you'll be able to gain different amounts of these. So to be able to put these out on there and be able to use them in the game. Heavy Disruptors are going to cost us 5 for that particular attack. Wow, that's going to be a lot to be able to get one of those on your ship. And it does show you what you're going to need, what faction it's for, and things of that nature. Advanced Torpedoes, and these are all mainly all Romulan stuff because that's the new faction in this particular game. But of course, some of these can be used with other ships if you wanted to, I think, depending if you wanted to cross the different factions. But like I said, some of them are Klingon. They're these right here. These are Klingon related that you can use with that came with the expansion 2 were the Klingons. Before we're done, let's quickly look at the ships. These look pretty awesome. I've always been a big fan of Star Trek ships, and they don't disappoint when it comes to what they look like model-wise here. Oh my gosh, I love these Marine ships. They're nice little, these are super cool. They're so asymmetrical, it's absolutely amazing. And then we have, of course, the Jem'Hadar battleship. This thing is the I guess you could say flagship of this fleet. This thing looks absolutely awesome. So there you go. Like I said, there's gonna be a really quick unboxing. This is just the Dominion War Campaign Part 3. Again, I would love to get this up to the table. It was a ton of fun to play. If you're interested in seeing the playthrough, it is on my channel, so please check that out. I hope you enjoyed the unboxing. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell symbol so you know when more content comes out. Also, please feel free to leave anything in the comments below. I would love to hear from everyone. If you're interested in supporting the channel, you can join the Patreon. That is also in the description of this video. Those that have are shown here on the screen. Thank you so much for your patronage. It means the world to me. If you're interested in joining the Patreon, some of the perks you get is the playthroughs that I do come out usually a day or two before they would normally come out without commercial interruptions. On top of that, people are able to help me decide how we go through the games. They can choose kind of what games we play, what characters we use, and even how we're going to level them up. For example, for Star Trek Alliance, I would allow them to help me decide how we're going to level up our particular captain and what cards we may want to put with our ships to make them be able to get through the missions. So there you have it. That is Star Trek Alliance. Thank you so much for watching, and if you're excited to see what comes next, then I need you to meet me at the table.